right. Good evening. Marek Bennett here, Comics Camp 2020, week 6, the Friday live draw. I'm looking forward to drawing with you tonight. Everybody has a pencil and a piece of paper. You can draw along here. I'm also going to be using pens and markers as usual, maybe big pink erasers too, to clean up our mistakes. Cool. So I'm going to switch right over to my desktop cam and we'll get going right away because we have a lot to do tonight. It's been a big week at Comics Camp. We had the Courier Museum Art Center Comics Camp drawing all day, every day over in the Zoom meeting room, actually. And I asked the comics campers to give me some ideas for tonight's live draw. So this will be, we're going to try to incorporate a couple suggestions. This is a total penciled mess, of course, but we worked it out at the end of Comics Camp today. Of course, we're always penciling, then inking, then erasing our artwork. So we get our best possible, most readable picture. But often, as this proves, sometimes you pencil a lot of details and the thing looks like a real mess. So let's get into it. Our job tonight is to use ink. So I guess I will use these right off the start to bring the picture out and help the reader's eye see it. Now, I asked my comics campers for suggestions, and the first suggestion they gave me was put comics campers in the picture. So we worked out, let's keep that right there. So we worked out, there's a couple of comics campers. Actually, there's a bunch of comics campers in this picture. Let's see. So the first one I put in, I think, was one of our comics campers is a moose wearing an underwater diving helmet. These are our cartoon alter egos, of course. I like to draw classes as animals, as creative, imaginative cartoon characters. So this comics camper, I said, what do you want to be? What's your favorite animal? And they said, maybe a moose or an underwater animal. So we quickly decided, well, maybe you're a moose with an underwater diving helmet on. There we go. There's a moose with an underwater diving helmet. We'll even give you an arm here to start with. And we'll put that arm inside an underwater diving suit with a hoof sticking out, of course. A moose hoof. All right, so there's the start of our moose, and we're going to put some feet over here. Let's see, this leg will also have those lines on it, and a leg over here. Now this moose is in a very special place, actually. We're going to see. Let's put another comics camper in here. I asked another comics camper what they were, and they said, oh, I don't know, a cat or a dragon. So we quickly settled on, let's see. I think this is a cat dragon. Let's see here. We'll put some like dragon-like teeth in here. We'll give it some, I'm going to use my thin line pen to give it some whiskers. There we go. Now, if you are thinking of drawing along here, if you have a pencil and paper and you want to draw, try drawing some of your friends or some of your family as animals. You can ask them what animal they are, or you can just kind of decide for them if you know their favorite animal. This works best when you use their favorite animal. And if your favorite animal is a cat dragon, I am happy to draw you into the comics into the pictures as a cat dragon. We were drawing comics all week this week. I'm going to give some scales while I tell you this. We were drawing comics all week this week with the Courier Art Center comics campers. So we'd start at 9, we'd finish at 3. We got a lot of comics drawn. And of course, comics are when we tell stories with lots and lots of pictures. So this is a poster. This isn't necessarily a comic tonight, but these are all characters we can use in our comics. I'm really cartooning these pictures. So if you're drawing along, think of, don't necessarily grab some friends and family members, think of them and turn them into cartoon animals. This pen is running out of ink. Let's get another. We'll try another pen here. That one might be retired from drawing so many comics this week. Much better. Turn them into animals, give them something they're doing. So I said, okay, we'll have some comics campers in here and we'll put them all in here eventually. And I said, well, what do you want to have them doing? What's one other suggestion? And somebody suggested, oh, spaceships exploding. Well, all right. All right, we can do spaceships exploding. So there are some spaceships exploding in this picture. Let's bring one out now. I'll go in with my marker. I'm using my marker for thick lines, for for more expressive lines that get thin and thick. Uh-oh, there goes a cartoon animal. Let's see. Here, looks like here is a spaceship. Whether it's exploding or not, we will have to see. Definitely, that's the nose cone of a spaceship right there. We worked this all out in our pencils. So I know where this goes because we penciled it very carefully, kind of quickly at the end of camp today, when we realized this live draw was coming up and we'd have a chance to draw with you tonight at the end of the week. So I'm going to put these struts in across the canopy here of the spaceship. There we go. And then we realized we can put another comics camper inside and a comics camper or two outside. Well, we're going to need some explosions too. We wanted spaceships and explosions and exploding spaceships. They go together well. So we'll put some explosions in here. Explosions of all different types and colors. Maybe we'll do this as a coloring poster and you can color it afterwards. See what comes of throwing some colors down here. Let's do an explosion down here that's like a giant popcorn explosion. We'll do some smoke puffs like this. Sort of flower-like smoke puffs, but then what keeps it from looking like a flower, I think, are like the force lines coming out that show it's like a firecracker more. Exploding, something exploding, maybe a giant piece of popcorn out here in outer space with these spaceships. I don't know. People ask for spaceships exploding. Why not throw popcorn in? Let's see. And this explosion is in front of the ship, and these are going to be behind it. Okay. We'll work some other big explosions in. Let's make sure we know where our ship is going to be. You know what? I better put some more comics campers in here. So let's see. We have one comics camper who was a big polar bear. So I tried drawing that polar bear. I think it might have come out more like just a bear. Let's see. We'll give it a claw holding on to the canopy right there. We'll give it another claw. Oh, look, it's wearing a wristwatch. How quaint. We'll give it another claw holding on to the canopy right there. This bear like didn't get a chance to climb in. And he is hanging on for dear bear life. There's a little tail there. Oh, he's wearing cute swim trunks. Maybe he thought it was a pool party and not an exploding spaceship poster. We'll just trail those legs. The legs are getting a little smaller back there because this spaceship's rushing out towards us and the bear's holding on for dear bear life. Let's give that bear some wild eyes. There we go. Oh, that looks nice. I like those space bear swim. Maybe the bear wore a mask to the pool party. Couple dots for whiskers. Okay. Oh, look at that. The swim trunks have little hearts on them. Cute. This bear has a cute fashion sense. I don't think that exploding popcorn is going to hurt the bear, though. Let's see. Oh, that looks nice. And then, oh, look at this. Of course, worked into the cockpit of this ship, driving this spaceship. This is another comics camper. I said, what animal are you going to be? And he said, well, I could be a penguin or I could be a space alien. And we all kind of looked at each other and we said, penguin, space alien. That's what it is. So I'll give you sort of alien eyes right there. New haircut right there. Little antennas with electrical beams shooting between them as alien space alien penguins tend to have. And we'll black in the tuxedo of that penguin, leave the beak white and the belly white. Oh, that'll look really nice. There we go. Space alien penguin driving the spaceship. Let's put the little spaceship U control in its flippers. We'll put a little spaceship seatbelt on. Little penguin feet kicking the pedals of the ship. Okay. And we'll put a couple controls in there because this spaceship needs controls. Now we have other things these campers requested. So let's see. Now we have comics campers, actual comics campers in their alien/animal form. And we have an actual spaceship, and we have some actual explosions. And then somebody requested, so comics campers, exploding spaceships, sure. Somebody requested a band practice. Okay, so we have to work into this picture. Somehow they're having band practice. I think that's why these guys actually, these comics campers, are out on the back of the ship because they can be playing, for instance, a nice ukulele here. And here's the moose's hoof. Give that ukulele some details. I better come in and draw the rest of that moose's deep sea diving suit / space suit. First, I thought this might be underwater, but then we got the spaceship's request, so it turns into outer space, but that's fine. This deep sea diving suit is perfectly suited for either. Oh, and look at that. Coming off the top of the helmet is the little air pipe, and that's going to curl around behind, maybe wrap around the dragon a bit, go around down here in front of this leg. Look at that. Probably plugs into the spaceship back there, but this moose might get a little tangled up if it's not careful. Let's just tie that pipe all together with a little texture. These little lines going across it that show it's flexible, it's round, and also help us see it as connected, even if it goes behind the moose's leg. That looks really cool. Okay. We'll let it plug in back there somewhere. Now, if the moose is playing ukulele, of course, the dragon cat is probably going to be accompanying on the fiddle. So we'll put a fiddle in here. Dragon cat's paw grabbing that fiddle. Maybe the tip of the fiddle is getting a little banged up by the explosions going on so close. That's okay. We'll put a couple notes flying through the air here. Really sawing. Let's give it some motion on those arms. It's like a fiddler dragon cat. Oh, that looks really nice. Okay, so oh wait, what's the llama doing? Did you see there's a llama over here? Let's add that in. Let's see. Got her hair up in a bun. Oh, she's probably listening to some music. Got the earbuds in. Seems to be puffing really hard. Yeah, look at those eyes closed there. And this would be, oh, it's a clarinet. Look at that. Okay, so we have a llama playing a clarinet. She better have fingers to play that clarinet. All right. And we'll give it little buttons here. And then we can black it in, because most clarinets I've seen are black like that. And we'll kind of tuck her behind the moose like that, so we don't actually have to draw every part of every camper. She'll be tucked in behind the moose there. Give some shadows. There we go. Shadows from the explosion. The light of the explosions cast a sharp shadow. Oh, look, there's a little explosion right here, right by the bear's feet. Sometimes these explosions can have little firecracker puffs and cinders in them. That can look really cool. You put a couple messy puffs coming out from the center, and it looks like something's really, some kind of popcorn's really popping there. There we go. Very cool. All right, this is looking promising, folks. We have a band practice of all our Comics Camper family on top of an exploding spaceship. Oh, look, there's another camper down here. We can put a little, this one's wearing a glass helmet, which is always wise when you're in outer space. We have headphones. We have two eyes and a little forked tongue, and then a body that stretches out. Oh, yeah. Very nice. It's a snake. Our snake comics camper. And with a tail wrapped around, looks like a wrench or something. Oh, so this snake must be the mechanic who's out on the wing fixing the spaceship in flight during band practice. with explosions going off all over. Very cool. So we were taking suggestions today, and people were suggesting, you know, what animals to put in there, what they could be doing. The snake, I guess, isn't playing along unless he's sort of banging the wrench on the side of the spaceship. Oh, here's a hole in the wing. So it must have gotten blasted and the snake went out to maybe patch it up or something. So let's put that wing in there. I'll use the thick lines for that. The spaceship has all thick lines coming right through here. Here's the wing. It's like a shark fin. All right. Oh, look at that. The tail of the spaceship goes up right through here, right through there. And there's another tail. Oh, this is the other wing right here, huh? Cool. Oh, I see it. Okay, so here's the nose and it goes back, and this is the sort of the flat back where the band stands to practice. And then these are the wings that sort of fly it through space, I guess. Oh, and look at this. There's a note coming out of the clarinet. There's a stream of notes going down into the distance there. Smaller and smaller. And then coming out of that is one huge explosion. The clarinet is like covering their retreat. All right, let's see. Put a couple rows of explosion in there and some rays coming out of there. Very cool. Let's darken some of the edges of that exploding cloud with our thin lines. If all these lines kind of point down to the center where the clarinet's blasting, that really makes it look like this loud, loud clarinet is causing some kind of gigantic popcorn explosion down there, I guess. This is fun. We did this a lot this week, just kind of putting ideas together in creative ways, looking for ways that stories come out of these drawings, right? We do a lot with our toolbox of faces, actions, setting, and text. So we've got, well, you know, some of our characters have faces, and you can tell from the faces what their expressions are. And then these musicians are clearly just jamming. Their eyes are closed. They're playing their instruments. The snake's a little worried about fixing up the wing, I think. And they're all doing specific things. And the setting, well, we're working on the setting. And this won't have much text, I guess. But those are some of our tools that we're using. Let's see. Let's add a little more exploding, shall we? Let's see. Oh, there were more spaceships in here. Look at this. We're going to add some spaceships, and then we'll get more exploding. So I was showing the Comics Campers one of my old notebooks from back when I was like 5 or 6 years old. And at that age, I drew an awful lot of Star Wars spaceships. And I drew an awful lot of TIE fighters exploding. But we realized something as we drew these, as we worked on, I was drawing and they were helping me with ideas. As we worked on getting these TIE fighters in here, I realized they had something strange about their wings. And then somebody pointed out, oh, they're not just solar panel wings, they're waffles. For some reason, these TIE fighters have waffles on them. And that just seemed to fit with our Comics Camp crew. That seemed like an idea we would hold on to. So these are actually waffle TIE fighters. I'm not sure where that comes from, but oh, cool. Look at this one. We'll give it some zaps coming out of its blasters there. And then these are like the laser blasts coming forward just past the bow of our spaceship. Zoop, coming right out at you. So when we color this, maybe we'll make those like bright pink or bright green or something. Zap, here's another one right there. It's shooting right past the spaceship, blowing by us. There's another one right there. I always liked that in the Star Wars movies, how they kind of dodge laser blasts. Now this one's coming out and coming down here. Zap, zap. Oh, look at that. There's another comics camper. We'll get to that in a moment. Oh, here it's going right past the bear, right past that explosion. Zap, zap. Coming down here. Oh, now we're getting some real setting details. I like those lasers coming out at us. So we have the spaceship with the band on it going this way, the lasers going this way. No wonder this looks so confusing in the pencils, huh? Look at this. That's me. That's a little rabbit. I always draw myself as a rabbit. And what's he driving? Let's see. He's got a round canopy over him. It's like an old Jetsons era spaceship. Oh, and it's a carrot. There we go. Carrot craft. Probably bright orange. If you're coloring this, it's bright orange. Put a little gas tank opening there. There we go. Maybe a little antenna on the front. That has little carrot wings here. And then the greenery coming out the back. Maybe that's like the rocket. The rocket can be bright green shooting out the back. Now this, okay, we had another request. So far we've worked in comics campers. We've worked in spaceships exploding. We've worked in band practice. The next request we got was, of course, wait a minute, all drawn from a dog's eye view. So then we sort of looked at this from a couple different directions, tried to figure out how it's a dog's eye view. And I think we're coming down into this corner now. We're just going to add in an entire new character here. Somebody who's looking at this image and we're seeing it with them. This kind of looks like my dog Greta. Maybe that's who it is. Give him a big black shiny nose. Nice thick lines. These thick lines, I hope, will kind of pop the character out and make them look closer than all the thin line stuff in there. We'll also kind of exaggerate the dog features. And we'll give her a really big watery puppy hound puppy eye. A couple wrinkles, smiling. She's loving this show. All right, there she is. We'll give her some whiskers here. She's really close up, so maybe we'll even like shade in a little bit in the corner. Let's see. Let's give her some teeth. Let's give her a big tongue hanging out. I'm going to keep things as simple as I can in here. You know, I don't want to get super detailed. It's cartooning. So I want you to be able to look at the picture and immediately see what it is. But maybe we'll sort of darken the corner here to make it seem like she's really close to us. Because stuff that's close gets kind of shadowed, you know? So we'll sort of darken it in. And that kind of fades it away too. We won't really study it. It'll just sort of feel like it's really close to us. Oh, we can even give her, let's give her like some lines. Let's give her some thin lines that all point into the center of the picture, that help guide your eye back to the center. I like these little tricks and techniques you can pick up and try. Well, when we color her, maybe we'll color her kind of dark too. All right, there's our dog's eye view. The dog is looking at the band, listening to the band as the band practices here. We can tuck some musical notes in here. We can tuck some mice dancing. I always like to tuck mice dancing or doing anything, like ballerina mice. Oh yeah, let's put a mouse in a tutu. Why not? We can just improvise a couple characters like this. Oh, very elegant. Nicely done, mouse in a tutu. Maybe 1 foot up, 1 foot down, tail curling around because they use their tails to dance as much as anything else. All right, a couple more scales on the dragon. This is starting to look really good. I think we are, oh no, look at this. There's more spaceships up here. These are not just regular TIE fighters. These came out midway through this battle. They could change the course of this poster battle. These are bow tie fighters. They're really easy to draw. They're even easier to draw than the waffle tie fighters. Okay. There's a couple of them flying in there. Let's put some big explosions in the distance. We want as many explosions as we can get here just for pyrotechnics. And the band really likes it too. I think they play better when there's all these explosions going off. Once we played a Civil War folk music show and there was fireworks at the same time, and it was pretty interesting, pretty different. So I like those. This explosion already looks a little more like a splash. Maybe there's like a giant oatmeal planet in the distance and it's just splattering. Yeah, let's do that. We'll put lots of globs of oatmeal flying out, like a Jupiter-sized glob of oatmeal that explodes. Why is it exploding? Oh, look at that. There's another comics camper right there on the nose of the ship. Why, it looks like a little shrimp with one enormous claw and one tiny claw. Well, that must be a pistol shrimp firing his pistol blast. Zap. Ah, that's why the oatmeal's exploding over there. All right. Well, we just roll with it as these things come up. We'll put a space helmet on the pistol shrimp and a little tube to bring the salt water into the helmet there. A couple bubbles. Let's see, pistol shrimps I think are decapods, so we'll give them 4 legs plus the 2 arms. That'll be 10 total. So that should work. Oh, look, we have some beans here, little bean characters. This one's holding on carefully, grabbing hold of the nose cone, looking a little worried. Or maybe having a fun ride. Somebody painted a nice face onto this nose cone here. I always liked planes with faces painted on them for some reason. Oh, there's another little bean character holding on for dear life. I think not everybody was on board this spaceship when it took off, you know. We'll put a couple stars in here. That'll add to the setting, maybe help you see it's out in space. Even if I'm not going to go through and blacken in the sky. If you're coloring this, you can turn the sky purple or dark or something like that. Let's see. Oh, there are some big stars here. It's kind of cute, cartoony stars in the foreground. Little stars in the background. Well, this is looking pretty darn busy. Maybe I should add some lines to give some shape to the spaceship's body here. And maybe some speed lines too, just to keep the spaceship sort of flashing. We'll give it some lines going along the way it goes and sort of shading it down as it curves down. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let's try it. Yeah, that helps me see the spaceship, if nothing else. Let's see. Usually, if I'm not sure about something, it's a good idea to go back and pencil it first, but we're working kind of fast with this poster. Sometimes when you're drawing something, if you feel a little like this bear, you're just holding on and whatever you're drawing is roaring along with or without you. That can be an exciting feeling. There was a good bit of that this week drawing our comics. We just kept going no matter what, and we all got a lot of comics drawn. I've been posting daily over at the Patreon. So if you want to see some of the comics we've been drawing and see what we've been up to, head on over to patreon.com, Marek Bennett. You can join up there and you can get all the stuff that we're drawing here. Oh my goodness, there's a whole section of this that still needs our attention. All right, so here we have, you know what this is? This is a TIE fighter, regular waffle TIE fighter. And it's like the toy ones they used to have when I was a kid. When you press a button in the back, it pops and the wings pop off and whoever's in it shoots out the back and is ejected. Looks like it's a little alien of some sort. Let's see, we'll put the other wing over here. the other waffle. Pop. And we'll give it some bursting sound effect drawn in here. You can add your own sound effects if you can work them in there into your picture. Yeah, I was starting to say, to draw a picture like this, you take friends or family, turn them into animals, make them doing something, maybe something they like to do, right? Like band practice, for instance. And then you put them in an odd setting, in our case, on the back of an exploding flying spaceship out in space. That's kind of a slightly odd setting. And then their actions come out of that. The snake is trying to fix the wing here and so on. Makes it kind of interesting. Then you could give them word bubbles. You could put sound effects in there. I think the only kind of writing I'm using here is like the musical notes they're playing, which kind of pop out all over the place here. I'll put a couple big ones in here. Floating around. Oh, that anywhere there's some space, we'll tuck them in, right? Now let's see. I don't know if we are getting any kind of, I'm going to check on the Facebook. I don't know if I'm getting any kind of suggestions from folks, but if you want to make a suggestion and make a comment, you can make a comment, suggest what you think should go in the cockpit here. We still need somebody to go in there. I'm not sure who it's going to be. Let's see. Oh, we had another suggestion come in once we had all these things in, and somebody said, well, why don't you work in some time travel? Well, why not indeed? So there are a couple spaces here. So I see that somebody added in, it looks like somebody was kind of upset. Somebody who's wearing some kind of helmet with a mohawk. Oh, it's a Roman soldier, of course. There we go. Very cartoony Roman soldier, but that's kind of the stage we're at. We're rounding out the week here, doing a little live draw together. All right, so that, I guess, says time travel, sort of. Roman soldiers. Could say history comic, too. But history comics are a good form of time travel, I think, so that'll work. Oh, they look ready to defend the spaceship there. And oh, well, that explains this part, too. Here is a very cartoony kind of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, it looks like. Yep. That must be, if it has little arms here, that will clinch it. Yep. Little pincher arms. Yeah, well, you know, nothing says time travel like a Roman centurion fighting a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So there you go. I guess we worked in time travel. So we have the comic scampers. We have spaceships exploding. This is fun. This is a real challenge. I like this. We have band practice going on at the same time, all from a dog's eye view. And now we have some time travel included in there. Oh, that explains. I was trying to figure out what this little fellow is doing here. I mean, what's a Viking soldier doing hanging off the tail fin of an exploding spaceship? Well, there must be some time travel involved, right? That explains it. It all makes sense now. We said that a lot this week in Comics Camp. Say, oh, that all makes perfect sense for something that otherwise would not. Oh, that explains this axe I saw back here. There we go. Nice heft. All right. Oh, they're the feet of the Viking. They're like little Charlie Brown feet. Nice. Kicking into space as the ship flies off. That's looking good. Okay, let's put a couple more stars back here, a couple more explosions. We're almost at the saturation point. I think we're almost there. We'll put a couple minor explosions. maybe we can bring out the body of this waffle TIE fighter here a little bit more, right? So let's give it some shading that comes from the huge explosion down here. So all the lines on it, the top will be dark, and all the lines will point back to that huge explosion. It's like the aftershock caused the waffle wings to pop off. Oh, we need a face on our alien. Very cool. We have a couple more musical notes, I see. I'm not sure how the music is transmitted in outer space, but you know, it's a cartoon, so maybe they have technology that can fire music, clearly that can launch music through the upper atmosphere here. Let's do a couple explosions in the background here. Just because people asked for explosions, right? And barking dogs. Oh, we got cars arriving here. And a couple lines. I think we are near the saturation point. Anything that's missing here? Well, somebody suggested, we had a suggestion of no ideas. Oh, that was somebody who had no idea what to suggest. But if you look at this picture long enough, you'll realize that Lyndon realized this. He said, you know, if you look at this picture long enough, you'll realize you have no idea what's going on. So that works. Oh, there's a little bean right on the wing. Champion bean. Walking along, little bean figure. A little different from a stick figure. There's a laser zap flying through there. There's another laser zap flying through there. Just missing them. I think we're doing cleanup now at this point. Maybe another couple explosions down here and stars. Clouds, smoke dust down in the lower atmosphere. We got it. All right. I think we got it. I think we got them all. And we have one more suggestion. Oh, Liz is saying, how about a space loon? All right. That's it. We'll put a space loon in here. So our loons that we've been drawing in the Loon Tunes, I love it. Let's do it. We give them a round head, round eye. Nice big cartoony eye spot. We'll give them triangular beaks. Open, of course. We'll give this one a curved neck with a stripe on it. Do the deluxe stripe with a little bit of lining on it. I'm going to tuck it around behind this laser blast. Oh, we'll give it like little headphones, and a little microphone. That'll be kind of cute. There we go. Let's see. I don't think you can see its legs, but you can see the markings on its back. We do that with bold lines across and thin lines along. So let's see. This will be the first loon in space in a spaceship, exploding spaceship band practice, I think, that I've ever drawn. Although I'll have to go back through my sketchbooks from when I was a kid and see if I ever drew a loon into an exploding spaceship band practice. You never know. Sometimes you forget about this stuff. Oh, very nice. Of course, the alien penguin is going to team up with Space Loon. We'll put a couple more buttons and controls in here. Beep, beep, zip, zip. And then we'll put a couple buttons and gauges back here. Little needles and readouts. Great. Thanks, Liz. You're a lifesaver. We needed that space loon in there. All right. And then, oh, we had one last suggestion, which was somebody requested baking. Well, let's see. We could put a couple. Well, we have the waffles. That's not baking. Is that baking? We have the waffle TIE fighters. Let's put a couple cookie fighters in there too. They're just like basically, they're cookie asteroids. They were chunks of cookie dough, but then, you know, solar radiation turns them into, actually bakes them into cookies. You've got, I think they broke off from the oatmeal planet back here and they became oatmeal raisin cookies at some point, billions of years ago, cycling through the cosmos. So there you go. There, we got them all. Put a couple cookies over here. Oh, those look delicious. In a scene like this, what could go wrong? You want to have some cookies, right? Put some speed lines on this wing too. Boy, if I were really, really detail oriented, I would probably go through and put those little airplane rivets all along the seams here, right? But that's only if I were really, really detail oriented. You know, on a Friday night at 7:40, you know, maybe you let a few bolts slide, and then next thing you know, your spaceship's exploding. So be careful there. Put a couple bolts along the wing just to show we are keeping our mind on some details. I don't know, anything missing? Yeah, Tim, Loon's in space. I don't know, is anything missing? I mean, other than like habitat for the dinosaurs, other than the fact that a Roman centurion would not be alone on an exploding spaceship, you would have, you know, a cohort or something. A legion, maybe. Other than the fact that 2 bow tie fighters this far from the oatmeal planet would not be flying an unsupported sentry run. So we worked in the baking, we worked in dog's eye view, check. We worked in definitely a good band practice, definitely a memorable band practice, I'd say. Definitely a little bit of time travel, however the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Viking got there. Definitely some exploding spaceships. All our comics campers from this week in the Courier Arts Camp, lots of fun. Definitely have no idea how we came up with all this stuff, so that's good. Yeah, that works. And we have pied a picture, so we penciled it out carefully, made sure all the parts were there, inked it out, and now the next step, of course, let's not forget erasing. Once I'm done here, I'm going to just unwind tonight by putting on some mellow music and taking out my eraser and just kind of going gently over all my pencil lines and hiding it. And then people will see this picture and think that we just came up with it all in a moment of manic inspiration, and they won't realize the careful planning that went into it. Every rivet on that spaceship lovingly assembled. Every stitch in the seatbelt of that space alien penguin lovingly woven for safety, comfort, style. Oh, look, we forgot some very important rivets. If we didn't, I always notice when I'm erasing, it's my last chance to go over the picture and make fixes. If we didn't rivet up this cockpit, why, it could fly open the first cookie that hits it. I love doing these pictures like this and getting to know how this world works. And now, I mean, don't you want to go with this band to their next concert? Don't you want to go on the road with this band? Maybe this is what their tour is all about. This could be a great wraparound cover for the, or inside internal 2-page splash page for the issue 1 of their galactic tour. For some reason, they had to get out of this venue in a real hurry. Now, all these characters have their instruments, their roles in the bands, their personalities. You kind of develop it just by spending time with the picture. Spending time with your friends, getting their ideas, putting them in like we did this week. This is so fun. Got a lot of other stuff to show you. So I'll be posting this weekend too, some stuff still from Comics Camp. We had so much happen this week. So head on over to marekbennett.com/comicscamp. You can join up there. You can draw with us anytime this summer. It's pay what you can, so everybody can be a part of it. And then you'll also, if you join the Patreon, you'll also get updates every time there's one of these live draws and library events and museum events. Next week, we have something happening every day, sometimes twice a day we have events. It's such a busy season. And it's really great to have you all joining us. Those of you who are on the Patreon, great to have you along. Those of you who are joining by summer camps and stuff, great to have you along. Thanks to everybody for the ideas. Thanks to this week's Comics Campers for coming out to band practice like this. And each one of these characters drew multiple comics this week. It was so amazing. I didn't know how it was going to go because we were on Zoom. You know, what's going to happen if we're on Zoom 6 hours a day making comics together? It's not going to be like in the past when we get together at the museum, but it really was. Hats off to the kids. Hats off to the kids for their creativity and their work. I had to like force people to take a break. They didn't want to put down their comics. Like here we are on a Friday night, right? Drawing these pictures. Oh my goodness, if you're just joining us, maybe go back to the beginning and watch what we're doing here. This is one of those pictures that I never would have drawn on my own. I only could have drawn this with the help of every character in here who are actual real human artists drawing their own comics. So we'll be sharing those on the Patreon. Gosh, look at this. This is what I mean. We don't want to stop working. I want to keep erasing and cleaning it up. But I'm going to go finish this up. I'll scan it. I'll post it as a printable. You can give it some coloring, see how it looks in your hands. And let me know too, share your pie. If you have drawn a bunch of crazy animals doing something insane on some kind of crazy vehicle somewhere, pencil, ink, erase it, post it with tag Comics Camp 2020 at me, Marek Bennett. And I'd love to see it, see what you're drawing, and maybe I'll color your poster. Head on over to the Patreon for the printables and notes and lots more to come this summer. This is week 6. We're only halfway through this summer, folks. Lots more comics to come. All right. Hey, everybody, let's shut down the screens for a little bit and get outside and get out, jump on the back of a spaceship and see what happens. Be safe. Stay socially distanced. Wash your hands. Wear a mask or a deep sea diving helmet. And I will see you next week for more Comics Camp. Thanks, everybody. Good night. Have a great weekend. Marek Bennett over.